Okay, let's talk about Java now. So what is Java? Why do we use the Java basically? Now we know that Java it's called an application programming language. It's called the application programming language. Now, what do you mean by application programming? Any idea what do you mean by application programming? Any idea what do you mean by application programming?
No, sir.
Okay, no problem. We all use mobiles, right? We use the mobiles.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in mobiles we have what you call apps. So what are these apps mean? Like when you say mobile app, what do you mean by app there in the mobile? So what do you mean by app in mobile? So what do you mean by app there? No idea. Okay, can you tell me one name of an app which you are using? Maybe it is a Zoom. You're using an app called Zoom. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Zoom, WhatsApp, Facebook,
Right.
Bitcut,
So we are
everything.
using the apps like WhatsApp, okay, Facebook. So many different apps will be using it on your mobile. Okay. Yes or no? Now, when you talk about these apps, so these apps, what we call, when you talk about computers, right? In computers, we use a word called application. Okay. So able to understand? In our computer, we use a word called application. So whereas when I talk about my mobile, so we know that the size of the mobile is a smaller one compared to the size of the computer. So what they did is they felt like having a smaller name called app than having a bigger name called application. Able to understand what I'm telling? So instead of having what you call the application, the full big name, instead of having it, as a mobiles are smaller devices, they also called it as a what? App they call it as, right? Now, what is meant by the application or what do you mean by app? So they are nothing but some kind of programs for us. Okay, they are just some kind of programs. They get your work done. So these are some kind of programs we use, okay, to get the work done. Understand what I'm telling? I want to do my work. I'm using some kind of application. I'm using it. Or particular, I'm using some kind of app I'm going to use. Now, when I want to design this kind of apps I want to design, I can make use of my Java. Right now, we can make use of Java for the application programming, that is for the app designing. Now, when you talk about these apps, now comes a question: what type of apps I can design on my using my Java? Means we generally we say what we call them as system-oriented applications, or what you call user-oriented. Okay, so generally when you talk about the applications, so we call the application, the classification will be making it what you call system oriented, and other one is user oriented. Okay, able to understand what I'm telling? So applications can be classified basically into two types. Broadly classification I'm talking about. So one is called system applications, other one is user applications. So when you say system applications, means the applications which we are designing it. Okay, so applications which we are designing for the hardware maintenance part. Okay, maybe let us say that you are having an app for cleaning the memory, cleaning your unused files on your mobile and all, and deleting the files and all that. So purely we are using it for the hardware maintenance purpose. Okay, that we call it as system oriented. Now user oriented, what do you mean by user oriented? Means they are meant for the user purpose. So when you say meant for the user purpose, maybe I may be using it some kind of game, I may be using it, or I'm using an app like Zoom, I'm using it, or I'm using an app like Meet, I'm having it. Okay, so these different types of apps which are being used by the users, okay, for their work to be done. So those generally we call them as system oriented. So the concept is same both for the mobile as well as for your application in your for your desktop or your computer. Okay, but only differences is what generally we have the differences like The screen size is the difference for us, but the rest of all those things, nowadays, everything is going to be the same for us. Nowadays, everything is going to be same for us. Like you talk about the RAM, you talk about the, what basically we talk about the memory. When you talk about the memory and all, the memory for the mobiles is not less when you compare to the computers. Okay, almost they are matching the size of the memory and everything, they are matching it for us. Okay, now I can make use of my Java for designing any kind of application I want to design it. Maybe it's a system oriented, or you can, we have the limitations for the system oriented. We cannot have 100% system oriented. Like you cannot have, Java cannot be used for designing an operating system. Any idea what is an operating system? Have you heard about the operating system? Acha. On mobile operating system, have you heard about?
Android, sir.
Very good. So we have what you call the Android, right? So when you talk about your computers, so we have the operating systems.
Windows.
Very good, like Windows. Then, so how do you define these operating systems? Remember, these operating systems, they act as user interface. They act as a user interface. That means they'll be acting as a bridge. Okay, they'll be acting as a bridge between user and the hardware. Okay, I'm having my hardware and my user is there. So between these two people, between your hardware and the user, they'll be acting as a bridge, or they'll be building the interface. So what do you mean by interface? It's a screen through which we interact with the system. Okay, we are going to interact with the machine. Right, it's a machine through which we are going to interact with the, sorry, it's a screen through which we are going to interact with the machine. It's what you call the operating system. Java has a limitation. Most of the time we are not designing any, Java is not used for the operating system design, but it is used for, okay, let us say that you want to have the application for cleaning the memory and all that. You can make use of this. Java can be made use of. Okay. Generally, when you talk about this one, when you talk about the applications, you may be designing an application for a banking. So let us say I call the banking application, or I want to design an application for a hospital. Okay, or I want to design an application for a supermarket. For all these places, we can make use of, for all these domains, you can make use of this application. Sorry, what do you call the Java can be made use of for designing all these things, right? Okay, when you talk about these things, now these applications, we have two types of broadly applications. We'll be classifying the applications into two types. Okay, that is the based on the nature of how they are working, on the nature of work. So first one is, you call them as desktop applications, right? We call it as a desktop application. So what do you mean by desktop application? The application which has a limited connectivity. That means I may be using an application on my single machine. Okay, maybe we are using on a single machine, that is on a single laptop you are working, or single PC on which you are working, or we may have a limitations. We may have a limitation of a small network. Okay, understand what I'm doing? I may be using it in a small network, or what do you call a local area network. You call it as a LAN, local area network. The another type of application that we have, what you call web applications, we call it as. Okay, so what is this web application? Web application is one which are going to use it, the applications designed for the internet. So they are the internet applications. Okay, now the applications which are working on the internet, maybe for example what you call the net banking, or I'm using my Google Chrome for connecting to Gmail, all these things, right? They are called the web applications. Now if I want to design the desktop application, or I want to design a web application, Java can be used for both. Okay, Java can be used for both. I want to design a web application, I can make use of my Java. I want to design a desktop application, I can make use of my Java. Okay, so Java has the facilities. Okay, we call them as we have different types of classes are available. We'll discuss what is again what do you mean by classes and all that. Okay, we have all the different types of classes that are available, which we can make use of it for designing the desktop applications, or you want to design the web application, right? And one more thing, please remember, wherever you have a doubt, you can always unmute your microphone and you can let me know it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Sorry for that. Okay. I was telling you about two different types of applications. One is called a desktop application. Other one is called web application. Web application is nothing but the application which you are designing for the internet, or they work for me on my internet, which we basically call them a wide area network applications, you call it as. For both, you can make use of your Java. Okay. Now, let us see, how do I get my Java? From where I need to get? Okay, from where we need to install our Java there. So how do I install my Java? For example, let us say that you are using a mobile, you are using it, and you want some application, some app you want to have it. So how do you download this app? Some app, like for example, I want Zoom app.
Google Play Stores.
Yes, very good. So we have the Play Store. Okay, like that, for our computers, we can make use of our internet as a source, can be made use of it. And for example, now I want to download my Java. Okay, so when I want to download Java, open your Chrome, and simple stuff it is. Open the Chrome, any browser as such. Okay, you can open any browser, can be opened, right? And search for Java download. Simply you can search for the Java. I'll show you this. Okay, I'm using my browser. I'm opening a browser now, and then I want to download the Java. I'll just say Java. Okay, download. I'm just saying Java download. And when I say this, automatically you see that, so it's going to show me the first link, it is going to show me. So www.java.com it is showing for me. Now here you can, there is one link available for you for download Java for Windows. Okay, I'm selecting this link. So once I'm selecting this link, when I'm opening it, you see that the Java downloads will be open for you. Okay, so then click on this option, what you call this, I agree, and start the download. And remember, so once I say this, agree, and this one, it will start downloading your Java software, will start downloading it on your machine. When you talk about the version of it, so the Java version we are having is 8 version we are having it. So Java 8 is the version that is available for you latest. You can download it on your machine. Okay. Now, so for downloading it, so you can select the Java 8 version. So it is a recommended version given by your Oracle itself. Now comes the question, why the Oracle we are seeing there? Any idea? Any idea there?
Oracle is a company to develop Java software, sir.
Very good, very good. So this Java software is now it is being developed, or it is being managed by Oracle now. Okay, it is managed by Oracle, so Oracle Corporation for us. Earlier, when you talk about your Java, so initially the Java was developed by Sun Microsystems. Understand what I'm telling? So Java was initially developed by a company what you call Sun Microsystems. Now this Java, when have been the idea about designing the Java was being there, and that whole team was led by James Gosling. Okay, so the man called the James Gosling, he was heading that particular team of your Java team, and then they started developing the Java software for us. Later on, actually we talk about this. So initially it was named as Oak. Initially the Java software was named as Oak, but later because of the proprietary issues and all, the name was already existing. Then what they did is they changed the name to Java. And always whenever you see Java, we always see this coffee cup symbol, you'll be saying it, right? It is related, what you call, it has been associated with the Java for us. Somewhere around 1995, okay, Java came into existence, and then after that, so it has never looked back, and then it's always keep on growing and growing and growing for us. Actually, when you talk about the Java, so initially Java was designed for all these different types of devices. Okay, when you talk about these devices, now where can I use my Java? Now comes a question. So the application which we are designing in by Java, where do I use them? Okay, on which device can I use my Java? Means Java can be used on different devices. Maybe you talk about your mobile, we can make use of it. You have a PC or a laptop, you have it, we can make use of it. Now let us say that I'm having some electronic good is there. So electronic goods, like for example, I'm talking about a TV, okay, or I'm having a washing machine is going to be there. Sorry, I'm having my TV or I'm having a washing machine, okay, or any other device you talk about. Nowadays we come across the set-top boxes, okay, TV set-top boxes you would have seen. Maybe if you are using a cable TV or you are using a Tata Sky, all that set-top boxes we have it, right? For all those set-top boxes, people are using Java now. Now, when you talk about the applications which you can design, for which device you can design, no, there is no limitation basically for your Java. Okay, Java can be used for all the different types of devices. Nowadays, we are talking about the cars, we are talking about, we are talking about the autos. Everywhere the mobile, the Java is going to be used for designing them. Okay, what do you call? I mean, you would have heard about self-driving cars and all that. So people are using it. Okay, for self-driving cars, autos, everywhere people are using our Java software is being used. Actually, when you talk about little more about that one, people talk about the Android, but again, so in the Android, we are using the basic programming languages, Java only we are going to use it, okay, as a part of the development part. That don't worry, we don't want to worry about that one. So we need to learn basics of your Java. Then if you want, you can also learn the Android programming can be learned easily, no issues in that. Yeah. Okay, just I was telling you that. So how Java can be used and what devices we can have it. Similarly, now when I want to download my Java software there, it says that, so we have different types of Java softwares are going to be there. Okay, we have the different types we are having it. Like for example, I'm having what you call JDK, you call it as, or it stands for the Java Development Kit. Okay, we call it the Java Development Kit. Now here, once you start downloading your Java, so it's going to download my Java Development Kit. What we also call it as J2SC, it is called, right? It's also called the J2SC. So what is this J2SC? J2SC stands for Java Software. Okay. So we call it as the software edition. It's called the Java software, sorry. Okay, it's a Java software for me. We call it as J2SC, we call it. Then Java 2 we call it as. We also have another type of Java, what you call J2ME, we are having it. It's called the mobile edition. If you want to design, develop the mobile applications, you want to design it. So we can make use of what you call a software called J2ME. So this is your mobile edition. Remember, Android is there. Android is a different story. I'm not talking about the Android. I'm talking about the, in Java itself, we have different versions of Java as there. Okay, based upon what is your requirement, you can have them. Okay, you can have the JDK, which we call, this is generally we use the JDK for the laptops. J2ME we are having it, so that we use it for the mobile edition. So we have J2W we are having it. So this is called the enterprise edition, we call it as. So generally when you say enterprise, so it is for the large companies or large enterprises you want to design the application. So you can make it as the J2ME, sorry, J2W. So J2W has a lot many features are there compared to the others. So initially we'll talk about the JDK, then we can talk about the others, we'll talk about them later, right? So as I told you that, so when I'm going to download my JDK, so it is the 1.8 is the internal version, but so externally we say it is the Java 8 version, we call it as. Okay, it's called the Java 8, we call it as, right? Now, I have already downloaded on my machine. So how do you install it? So once the downloading is completed, how to install for us? Okay, how to install? So after your download is completed, you can just give a double click. So you double click on the software. Okay, double click on the file which is downloaded for you. I think already I have downloaded. So okay, let me check that. It's downloaded. Okay, sorry, it is not there somewhere. Okay, no issues in that. I'll show you later also, no problem. So once you're downloaded it, you can double click on the file. So once you give a double click, so it'll ask you to select next. It's a simple installation. The installation process is very simple. So you need to click on next. Okay, then once the installation is being done on your machine, you need to set the class. You need to set the path. Okay, right after the installation. After the installation, okay, so what you'll do is, so you need to set the path for it. What you call environment variable, we call it as. Okay, you need to set the environment, right? How do you set this environment? So I'll be using, I need to, okay, you can go to your my computer, this PC, right click on this PC and select the option what you call properties is selected. So once I select the option called properties, see in my machine it's going to show me the options different here. So your machine may be having a different options, right? Okay, then so on the right hand side, if you look in, so there just point where my mouse pointer is pointing now. So we have the advanced system settings. I'm having it. So click on this option. Okay, no issues. It's asking me my password. Is asking. Okay. So once I click on that one, so it will show me a screen. So where we can have these options are going to be there for me. Okay. Let me show you again. So on my machine, once I open my this one, my computer properties, I'm opening it. So you can see that the advanced system settings are going to be there here. So once I select this one system settings, okay, once I select the system settings, now you see a small screen there. So where the system properties are going to be open for you. And then here on the bottom, you are seeing it as a environment variable, right? So once I click on this environment variables, now here you see the options will be there. So one is what you call Java. I mean, we talked about the path part. Now here there is something what you call a path here. Select this one and then say new, or say okay, better say edit. So once you say edit there, so it is going to show me all the options here. So you can click on the new option here, right? On the right hand side on top, you see the new. So under this edit environment variable, click on the option new there. So then once I click on new, it will show me, okay. So it will give me, it'll ask me to add a new path there. So you can give the path there. Now, when you ask me the path, where exactly the path is, you need to tell where your Java has been installed on a machine. So let me show you where my Java is installed first, then we'll talk about that. I'll just click on the option cancel. I'm clicking on the cancel here. Okay. Yeah. Let me show you where my Java is installed on my machine. So actually my Java is installed on C drive. Generally it will be there for you on the C drive. You can see the folder called Java there. right? So in the program files, so I'm having a folder called Java there. So Java folder, so it's going to be JDK. Now we said what JDK we talk about, Java Development Kit we call it as. So once you download this particular software called JDK software, you see now after the installation, it is automatically going to create a folder called JDK folder. And then in this folder, there will be a file called, there will be another folder called bin folder will be there. Okay, I need to set my environment path variable. You have to set it to this bin folder. Okay, I open my bin folder. Now you can see now. So bin folder is there. What I'm doing is I'm clicking on top here on the address bar. So it is going to select me this path there. C colon program files, Java, JDK, bin. So this is the path it is going to select for me. I'll just copy this path here. Okay, once the path is being copied here, now I'll move to my system properties. So under system properties, I'm using the environment variables. There, remember you are seeing two different types of variables. So one is called the user variable, other one is called system variable. So my preference is always don't use the user variables, go for the system variable. Now comes the question, why I need to go for the system variables? Why don't I go for the user variables? Man, as itself says that if I'm going to use it for the user variables, it is limited for that particular user alone. If I'm using for system variables, that will be made available for all the users who are all going to be there for me in my machine. Generally, what will happen? We may have the multiple users will be there on same machine. If I want my path variable, my path to be made available to all these users, then you create it using the system variables. No, you don't want to have the path to be set for all the variable, all the users. You want to have the limitation for you alone. You can use the user variables can be made use of. Generally, we prefer to use system variables, okay, to avoid the problems. Okay. Now I'm using the option called edit. Now when I say edit here, so you see the system variables are going to be there for you. Now as a part of this one, now you can click on this option called new there, right? So once I click on new there, so you'll see now a new line is going to be added. Now you can paste it here. Control plus V, I'm using it to paste it. Okay, the path I'm pasting it. So already the path is there on my machine. It's been set somewhere. Okay, you can see it somewhere here. It will be there. Okay, here you can see that the path is already set for me. So I don't want to set the path again there. I'll just remove this path part. Okay, I don't want to have it. So once you okay, give it, and then you can say okay, the path will be set for your machine. Right. Okay, I'll just click OK. I click OK. Understood now? So the path you have to set it, and as well as you need to set a variable okay, what we call it as Java underscore home. We'll discuss why this variable will be helpful for me. Okay. Generally, this variable will be setting it as to the root directory of your Java folder. Okay, this will be setting it to root folder. Root folder of your Java installation. Now let us see what do you mean by this root folder. Now, when I'm installing my Java, so let us see the location where it was. So this was the whole part. This is the where my Java installation was available. Okay, but when you talk about the Java home, right, this variable you'll not be setting up to the bin there, but we'll cut it down to root. That is where the installation is there for me. My C colon program files, Java, JDK 1.8. So this is the root folder where your Java is present. Now your class, the path variable you are setting it to bin, and then Java underscore home variable you are going to set it to JDK only. That is the root folder of your JDK. Okay, right. Now once all these things are being done, generally what will happen is when I want to type my Java applications, I want to type. Okay, where do you type my Java application? So typing my Java applications. You understood, right? So the installation part. If you are not having the Java being installed on your machine, You try installing the Java and you have any difficulties, let me know it. I'll help you out, no issues in that. Okay, now how do I type my Java programs? Or where do I type? Where do I need to type it? So remember, there are multiple ways of doing it. One is the simple method. First, I'll teach you the simple method. Then we'll talk about the IDEs we'll talk about. We use the simple methods. Like simple method means what? Now, how I'm going to use it. Okay, I may be using what you call Notepad. What you call the editors, I'll be using it. Okay, we call them as a text editors. We'll be using a simple text editor we are going to use like Notepad. You may be using not only Notepad, we have so many different types of simple note editors are there. You can also make use of the Notepad++. Okay, you can also make use of Visual Code. Visual Code can also be made use of for typing your Java applications. Okay, like that, so many different types of editors are there. Simple text editors are there, which you can make use of it. And very important thing is, after typing it, okay, save the program with the extension .java. So you need to have the extension of your program as .java. For example, let us say I want to give a file name now, okay, hello. So you give hello.java, you'll be giving the file name. Right. So you let us say I want to give a file name called hello. Then what I do is I'll be using it as hello.java. Then some conventions that you need to remember, some what you call naming conventions, we call it as. We have something what you call naming convention. So what do you mean by this naming convention means? Generally, when you are giving a file name, okay, in Java, the file names, right? In Java, the file name, we start with capital letters. File name will start with caps. But more important thing is, what is the convention we follow is, in Java, we have what you call classes. We'll discuss what is classes. I'll tell you more about the classes a little later. In Java, what we do is we define a class, and generally the class name and file name will match. Okay, generally the class name and file name will be matching for me. The conventions when you look in class names, for example, let us say you want to define a class called student. What we do is, last time I was telling you about the keyword called class. So I'll be defining like this: class student, nothing to worry about. I'll explain you again later. Once again, I'll explain you. Class student, I'm defining it. Then the file name, okay. What is the file name for me then? It is student.java. Able to understand what I'm telling? It's a conventions which we follow. Now, when you say convention, what do you mean by convention? Any idea what do you mean by conventions? It is not mandatory, right? It is not compulsory. Okay, it's not a rule that you have to follow. It's only a conventions we follow. So what do you mean by rules? Rules are something which you have to follow. And if you are not following them, then what happens? We get the errors. Okay. So when the rules are not followed, we'll get the errors. When the conventions, we are not following the convention, there is nothing wrong in that. But if you follow it, it will be better. Why it is following this? I mean, these conventions, it is universally followed by everybody. So all the Java programmers will follow the same conventions they follow. So if you follow the same convention, it will always be better for you. Okay. Why? Means because when you see the file name, we understand that internally in that particular file, we have the class name also will be the same name. That is what the convention, that is what we follow in the Java. So it is not the rule. There is no rule that the file name and class name should be matching. That's only the convention. The conventions are followed by all the Java programmers so So everybody by looking into the file name itself, they'll tell you what is there inside that particular file. Okay, what class will be there in that, they'll be guessing it. So that's the reason we need to follow them. Okay, I'll show you the demo also, then how things will be matching and all that. Okay. So you have anything which you are not able to understand, you can always let me know. So it
Okay.
is not the, yeah, it is not the rule there. Okay. I think you all know it, what you call the traffic rule. So what do you mean by traffic rule? Any one traffic rule? Let us say I'm
No,
driving a bike. Yeah. I'm driving a vehicle or two-wheeler, I'm driving it. So we have some rules are going to be there. What will be the rule?
helmet.
Yeah, you have to wear the helmet when you're going to, when you're going to ride a two-wheeler. Let us say if I'm not wearing the helmet, then you'll be punished for that. Yes or no? Like
Yes.
that, naming convention, what we have in our Java, it's only convention. That is, you may follow it, you may not follow it. That is not the rule. But if you follow the conventions, it's always will be better. Right? Okay, like that. Okay. Right now, what I'm doing is I'll use another notepad file. I'll open it. Okay. So I'll open one more notepad. I'm using a text editor, what you call the notepad now. So in this one, so we'll be defining like this class. Some class you want to define it called student. Then I open the flower brace, close the flower brace. Then I'll go to the file menu, select the option, save as, and then I'm going to give a file name. So, okay. So what is the file name I want to give it? I'll give the file name as student
Dot Java.
dot, very good, we'll be giving the Java. But remember, very important thing is in notepad, it is better you put the file name into double quotes. Okay, put the file name into double quotes. This is what I'm talking about. So I'm putting my file name into double quotes. Why you need to put the file name into double quotes means to avoid the extensions being added by notepad. Generally what happens is notepad will add the extension as .txt. If you don't want that, if you want to avoid that one, it is always better you use double quotes as a file name. But remember that double quotes will not be saved. Okay, that is an important thing that you need to remember. The double quotes will not be saved for us. It just creates a file name. That's it. Right. Let us not worry about how do you write the, what is the, what I need to type inside my program and all that. Let's not worry about that. We'll talk about that one later. I'll just get back to that one in a few minutes. Okay. You understood, right? So the file name. So I'm defining a class called student. Then the file name I'll be using it as student.java there. Okay. So this is not the rule, but this is only the convention which we follow. Okay. Done. So how to compile my Java programs? How to compile my Java programs? Okay, how to compile? So any idea what do you mean by compiling? Any idea what do you mean by compiling? So it is a concept where we are converting the source program, okay, the source program
Into output.
into machine understandable. Okay, so into machine understandable code we are converting it. So that concept is called compiling, we call it as. What do you mean by source program? Source means,
Code we have written.
right, very good. Code written by you. Okay, code written by you, or what you call the programmer. So who is called the programmer? One who writes a program is called a programmer. Now you are writing the program, so you are going to programmer. Okay. Now important thing one has to remember here is when we compile it, okay, what happens is if there are no errors are there in your program, then it is going to convert to dot class file. It's going to convert to a dot class file. It is not going to give me directly machine understandable code. It's not going to give it. It is going to convert me to a class file. So generally this class file, it's called a bytecode. It's called a bytecode. I'll explain you in a minute. I'll just get back to it. Now this bytecode, whatever is there, now I want to execute my program. So that is, I want to see execute is nothing but I want to see the result of my program, what I have written. Okay, I want to see the result of my program. So how do I see the result of my program means? So we'll be using Java and then followed with the class name we'll be using it. So what is the class name? Now remember, when you talk about compiling part, so what is the command that we use for the compiling? We'll use Java C followed with file name we'll be using it. File name dot Java. Able to understand the command there. So I'm using how I'm compiling. See, first initially I'll show you how we compile it, okay, how we execute. Initially using the DOS prompt, I'll show you. So later in the next class, I'll show you how we are going to use some IDEs we are going to use, so that you people can understand what is the IDE also, okay, what is the advantage of using IDE also, you can understand them. Okay. So once I compile my program, so it is going to convert to dot class file. Okay. So that is on my compilation part. So what happens, that dot Java is converted to dot class. Okay. Right. Once it is converted to dot class file, so you can execute the program by calling the command called Java followed by the class name. I'll be using it. Right. One command I'll add over here. So I want to print something onto the screen. Okay. So I want to print a message on screen. Right. In Java, we have a command. We'll discuss more about this. Detailed, we'll talk about this. We'll use a command called system.out.println. We'll be using it. Okay, I'll be using system.out.println, or you can make it a print. And then in double quotes, what is the message you want to give it? You want the message to be printed. That message will be putting into the double quotes, right? So that is the command that we use it for printing the message. Now, the important stuff, one more thing you have to remember is, so the Java programs what we are going to write, in that we'll have one is called main will be there. There will be a method called main. Now, what is this main method? Okay, it is the starting, it's a program execution point for me. Program execution point. Generally, you remember that we said two different types of applications can be designed. So in our Java, so one is called the desktop application, that is the application limited to a small network, or we can have an application which has been designed for the internet, right? We said two different types of applications can be designed using Java. One is a desktop application, other one is the applications for the internet. Now, when you talk about your desktop applications, we need to follow some program structure. We'll follow certain program structure, we'll be following it. So what is the program structure mean? We'll write, first on top, we'll have the import command, is optional. So import, so I'll be writing some package, Java package. We'll discuss what is a package and all, nothing to worry about that. We'll discuss everything, we'll talk about them in detail. Then generally you write something called public, followed with the class name. Okay, then open the flower braces, close the flower braces at the end. Then here you'll be writing what you call the public static void main, you'll be writing it, and then open the parenthesis. So we'll be writing string box brackets, we'll be writing the args. Now if you ask me a question now, sir, what is these args and all this? It stands for the arguments, we call them as. We'll discuss in detail, one by one we'll talk about them, everything we'll talk about them in detail. So this is the program structure that you are going to follow it for a standalone application. Understand what I'm telling? So we are going to use, okay, this structure we are going to follow for a standalone application. So you call it as this standalone. That means standalone means the application working on a single machine. It's called a standalone application. Or the application will be working on a small network for me, what you call a local area network. These applications can also be used for the local area network also, we can use them. The what you call this program structure can be used for that. Okay. Any questions here? If you are not able to understand, please you can unmute your microphone and let me know it. Okay, this is the program structure I need to follow. Now let's see this structure. I'll go back to my program. So just showing a student there. Okay, so in this one, so I want to have the public static, the method I'm having static there, static void, then main I'm using it. Then in the main, important thing you have to remember, S is a capital letters there in the string there. So args. Okay. Then we said we have a command called system.out.println. I'm having it, that I'll be using it. Now remember again in this one system, so S is a capital letter here for me, the rest are all small letters for me. So println, okay, let us say hello huddle rice. I'm writing it as hello huddle rice, semicolon I'm putting it. Right, I'll go to the file menu, select the option, say already I have saved this one as save as, I have used the option. So already we gave the name as student.java, we have given it. I'll just click on the option called save. Okay. Save, I'm using it. Right, my file is saved for me. Let me show you once again. What I have done is I have saved my program in a folder called, okay, it's there for me in the D drive, BIT. So there we have a folder called Java folder is there. So I need to go into that particular folder. Right, I'll open my command prompt. So CMD, important stuff. Let me add this one here. See, when I want to compile it, so these commands what we are using, right, the Java C and Java, okay, these are the commands we are typing it. Okay, these are from the command prompt. So these are my command prompt commands. That means you need to go to the DOS prompt. So how do you go to the DOS prompt? How to go to DOS prompt? So how to go to the DOS prompt for me? So what I do is we'll go to the run dialog box. That is you're using your start from a Windows. I'm talking about start run. I'm having it. So when I use this run dialog box, in this one you type it as CMD. Okay, or instead of using going to the start, run and all that, so what you do is simply you press your Windows key plus R. If you press, it opens the run dialog box. It will open for me. So once I get the run dialog box, just simply type the CMD in your run dialog box and press enter. Okay, so once again let me show you. So I'm closing this DOS prompt there. Okay, so then I'm pressing Windows key plus R. I have pressed. You see now the dialog box comes for you there. Here, so this is your dialog box. So in this one, you'll be typing it as CMD there. And then after typing CMD, click on this OK button. So once I click on the OK button, you see that your DOS prompt will come for you on screen. Okay, this is your DOS prompt, we call it as. The screen what you're seeing here, right? C: user Java. After that, you're seeing a blinking light there. That blinking light is called the cursor. Now I'll see the DOS prompt there. Okay, in my DOS prompt, my application is my program is saved in the D drive. First, I'll move to the D drive. There in the D drive, I have a folder by name called Java there. I'll move into that. So I have a folder called BIT. There I have a folder called Java there. I'll just move into that particular folder there. Now I'm using a CD command to change the directories. Okay, there I'll just use a dir command to see the list of files what are present there. Remember, I'm using a command called dir to see the list of files. What are the files are there? Now, if you look into that, so here I'm having a file now, what you call student.java. So this is the file which I have created now. So when I was typing my program in my notepad, I gave that name there called student.java there. Okay, you remember it, right? So I have given a name called student.java. The same name, you see it in the DOS prompt when I'm using the file dir command, I'm using it. I'll see the same thing. But remember, if I want to work with the, when I'm working with my file explorer, you'll see all that files, everything will be shown for you. But whereas when I'm talking about my DOS prompt, you have to type the command to see the list of files or whatever it is. Now, after this, okay, I want to compile my program. I said what the command we are going to use for compiling is javac followed the class name, sorry, file name will be using it. So my file name is student.java, right? So my file name is student.java. I'm typing that student.java and I press enter now. So as soon as I press enter, you see that it takes little time for me. After that, the compilation is going to be done. I mean, it's going to do the compilation. After that, it is going to generate a dot class file. If you observe it first, when I have used the dir command here, so it is showing me only what that Java file is there. Now after the compilation, now I'm doing the compilation part. So after the compilation, now I'll use this again I'm using a command called dir command. Now you see that it has generated a new file has been created, what you call student.class file, right? It is creating a file called student.class file has been created. Remember, before your compilation, there was only student.java was there. After your compilation, it is student.class file is also there for me. Okay. Now, so this is my name of a file. So I want to see the output of my program. Then I'm using Java followed with student. I am writing it. I'm using the class name now. So the name of my class is student. So I'm writing Java followed with student I am using, and you press enter. Now you see that now it's going to give me the message. Hello, Huddle.rise. It's going to give me the message. We're getting the message. Okay. Right. You understood, right? So how I have done the compilation of my program and all that. So I'll just let me go back to again to my notepad. So any doubts for here? So how do we compile it? What file is going to be created after your compilation? What is the type of file it is created after compilation?
No, sir, clear.
Okay, right. So for compilation, we are using a command called javac. So javac followed with name of the file. Whatever the file that you are used, that file name has to be used. For execution, that is to see the result of my program. So I'll be using Java followed with my class name. I'll be using it, right? We said what? It's only the convention. Okay. Let us go away from the convention. So let us see what is going to happen if I'm using different names, right? Okay. So if you don't have any doubts, I'll just delete the files now. So I'll delete the student files, what I have created. So to delete them, I'm using a command called del. So del followed with the file name I'm using it. To why I'm using this one is only to have the understanding of things, what is going to, how I'm going to do it if I'm not following the conventions. Right? Let's see that part. Let's okay, I have deleted my files. So now that .java file is not there. Okay, now I'll create a file. See, we said what is the convention? Let's go to the conventions part. So we said what when so define a class, okay, and then you save the file name and class name, both will be set. We said same, we'll be using it. Now what I do is I'll use a different, I mean, I'll not use the same method, I'll not be using it. So what I do now, I'll define a class called hello. Okay, I'll define a class called hello. As it is, the application remains the same for me. Okay, I'm writing what you call, we call it a hello world application. So whatever, so I just I'm writing public static void main. Okay, right. So this is my application. I mean, what I've done is, so this is my class name. So what I do is I'll save in a file called apple.java. Okay, understand what I'm doing? I'm creating a file, a class called hello, but I'm saving it in a file called apple.java. Understand what I'm doing? So I'll go back to my notepad. So my name of my class is hello. As it is, I'll not change anything there. I'll save this one as, okay, file name is apple.java. I'm using it. I'm putting this one into double quotes. Okay, understood now? So I am creating a file called apple.java. I am creating. Understood, right, everybody? So what I am doing, so I am creating a class, what you call hello. This is saved in a file called apple, right? Apple.java. So let's go back to the prompt and then check dir. I am using it. See, there is a file called apple.java. So what we said, so when you want to compile, sorry, 1 minute. Okay. So when you want to compile, what is the command we are going to use it for compilation? What is the command we are using for compilation? What's the command we are going to use it for compilation?
Java C, sir.
Right. So I'm using Java C, right? I'll use Java C. But what is that? Java C followed with file name it is. So what is the name of my file? It is apple.java. And I press enter now. Now we said what? After your compilation is being done, the .java file, okay, the .java file is converted to that class file. Now let's see what is that. So I see the dir command. I check the dir command. Now if you look there in the dir command, so it is giving me what hello.class it is creating it for me. You understood? When I'm using the dir command, it is creating a file. A file it is created called hello.class. So earlier case, what we did, we gave the file name, class name, both were same for us. Okay. So file name and class name both were same. So what happened when I compiled, to compile, I used student.java. For execution, also I use a class name called student. The class it is created called student. So I executed by using a name called Java followed with the student I did. But now what happened? I given two different things I have done it. So one is what I given a class name is different, file name is different. So then what I need to do it. So for that purpose, so now I have saved this one. So for this purpose, what we do it for compiling, okay, I'll use Java C followed with the file name I'm using it. Okay, file name.java. What is my file name there? So it is Java C followed with apple.java. Now remember, after compilation here it is going to create. So what is the name of the class there? Hello there. So it's going to create hello.class file is created. Okay. Understood what I'm telling? Like it is going to create me the hello.class it is going to create. Now once it has created the hello.class, so how do I execute now? For execute we said what? We use a command Java followed with class name. Okay. Now for this purpose, now what I need to do, I need to use Java. So my class name is hello there. So then I'll be using Java followed with hello, I'll be giving it. Right. Okay, let's see this. We have done the compilation. Now to execute, I'll be using Java followed with hello, I'll be using it. Now in case, okay, I'll use hello there and I press enter. Now you see that the execution mean the output is going to give me hello Huddle-Rice, it's going to give me. Right. Whereas if I try to follow the previous method, what we did previous, for compiling we gave hello, Java C apple.java. For execution, Java apple we gave it. Now let us see Java and I say apple. Now it says what? It says that it could not find that file and all are not there. It shows me that. Okay. It is not able to find that file or whatever it is. It's not able to find the main method is not there. All that different messages it's going to give me. Understood? So any questions over here? So anything that you are not understood?